Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to our English news edition coming to you from Canal, Algérie. I'm your host, Maysa Doumaz. To the headlines. On the occasion of the International Women's Day, the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, honors 10 brilliant women from different fields. In a message read on his behalf by the Solidarity Minister, the President of the Republic highlighted the high patriotism of Algerian women in the most difficult periods that our country had gone through. On behalf of the President of the Republic, Supreme Chief of the Armed Forces, Minister of National Defense Abdelmajid Tebboune, Lieutenant General Said Shengriha, Chief of Staff of the National People's Army, presided over the official installation ceremony of Major General Hamid Fakkan as the Director of the War College. In Morocco, the Moroccan Front for the Support of Palestine renews its commitment to confront normalization in all its forms. Those were today's headlines. First in our news, Algeria celebrated the International Women's Day on March 8th. On the occasion, the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, received a group of exceptional Algerian women whom he honored for their sacrifices and devotion for a free, proud, independent Algeria, a new Algeria whose constitution enshrines equality between men and women in rights and freedoms. In a speech, the President of the Republic highlighted the heroism of Algerian women and their role in building a new Algeria, focusing on the importance and care that the state devotes to them. Let's have a listen.
في الحقيقة تستاهلوا العناية كل سنة، مش إلا يوم 8 مارس. رانا في الخدمة، راها السيدة كريكو في الحقيقة ماهاش مقصرة في الميدان تاعها. انتوما من خلالكم كل النساء اللي متفوقات في عمل، ما راني شفت فلاحات، راني شفت في الوظيفة العمومي، في الصناعة، في الطب الأخيري، يعني نتكفلوا بكم ومشاكلكم، لأن باش الإنسان يكون مرتاح ويمارس الشيء اللي عنده عليه مؤهلات، لازم يرتاح فكريا ولازم يرتاح ماديا. إذا راه السيدة كريكو في الاستماع وكل الملفات مرحبا بها.
The President of the Republic then chaired a tribute ceremony in honor of 10 brilliant women from different fields.
السيدة الدكتورة فاطمة الزهراء زميت، أستاذة مساعدة في مجال الطب بمستشفى القطار، مختصة في الأمراض المعدية، تحصلت على جائزة التميز للمرأة العربية في مجال الطب من قبل جامعة الدول العربية. السيدة الأستاذة أمينة ركاب، أستاذة بجامعة أبي بكر بالقايد بتلمسان، تميزت بحصولها على جائزة أحسن أطروحة الدكتوراه في العلوم القضائية من قبل جامعة الدول العربية. السيدة الأستاذة حورية ريكي، أستاذة باحثة بقسم الفيزياء بجامعة باجي مختار بعنابة، صنفتها جامعة ستانفورد الأمريكية من بين 4 علماء جزائريين ضمن أفضل العلماء في العالم. السيدة الأستاذة أمينة بوشيخ، أستاذة باحثة بجامعة جلال اليابس بسيدي بالعباس والمعهد الوطني الجزائري للبحث الزراعي، متخصصة في الأحياء الدقيقة. سيدة نجاة غالمي هي المديرة العامة للمؤسسة ديار الجزائر للتجارة الإلكترونية، وقد أهلتها خبرتها في الرقمنة إلى تأسيس أول منصة إلكترونية. السيدة رزيقة دوفان، حرفية من ولاية تيزي وزو في مجال الطرز التقليدي، تميزت إلى جانب احترافها التصميم بالقدرة على التكوين، تحصلت على الجائزة الوطنية للصناعة التقليدية والحرف. السيدة عائشة جلاب، شاعرة أصيلة بولاية سطيف ومقيمة بولاية أم البواقي، تحصلت على جائزة أول نوفمبر 54 900 وألف. السيدة نهى حمداني متميزة في فن الرسم والديكور، حازت على دبلوم وطني في الفنون الجميلة تخصص الرسم الزيتي ودبلوم آخر في فن التصوير الفوتوغرافي. السيدة فايزة هارون صحفية بوكالة الأنباء الجزائرية، تميزت بمشوارها المهني الثري في مجال الإعلام على مستوى الإذاعة والإدارة المركزية لوزارة الاتصال. السيدة إيمان خليف رياضية متميزة في الملاكمة النسوية لوزن أقل من 60 كيلوغرام من النادي الرياضي للحماية المدنية بتيارت.
These women, honored by the President of the Republic, praised the care and interest shown by the head of state in Algerian women.
It was a great pleasure to meet the President today, in addition to all the professional women in high positions. I wish them all the best in their careers and that they will achieve all their goals. I would like to thank the President for honoring us today. This ceremony highlights the public authorities' efforts to promote and enhance women's status in Algeria. This tribute by the President of the Republic honors all Algerian women. As a doctor, I had the privilege to represent Algeria in Arab countries, as well as the Arab League. I am proud of my country and its women. I am glad to be honored by the President of the Republic and would like to congratulate all Algerian women and wish them more prosperity in all fields, especially sports. This is a great motivational tribute to women. I would like to thank President Tebboune for honoring us today. I wish all women a happy International Women's Day, full of prosperity and success.
Still on the occasion of March 8th, the President of the Republic hailed the sacrifices of Algerian women in a speech read on his behalf by the National Solidarity Minister Kawthar Krikou during a ceremony organized at Al Awrasi Hotel in the presence of Prime Minister Ayman bin Abdurrahman, the President's advisor, members of the government, members of the two chambers of parliament, and senior state officials.
أتشرف اليوم بإلقاء كلمة رئيس الجمهورية السيد عبد المجيد تبون بمناسبة الاحتفاء باليوم العالمي للمرأة.
I am honored to present to you the message of the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, on the occasion of the International Women's Day. My daughters, my sisters, the celebration of International Women's Day is an occasion when women in our country and all over the world are surrounded by the best images of esteem and distinction in various sectors, in different fields of socio-economic activity, as well as in charitable and humanitarian workspaces. She proved during all the stages and the most difficult moments her attachment to the high patriotic sense and her permanent contribution to the promotion of citizenship. When the waves of COVID-19 have followed one another, demonstrating the sacrifices of women in the medical profession and in the various sectors and fields, or even the so difficult challenges that women have had to face with patients in their family and social professional environment, are so many brilliant achievements and radiant pages reflecting its centuries-old qualities of loyalty and values of national solidarity.
The President of the Republic reaffirmed his desire to strengthen the place of women in all areas, particularly that of politics.
كان لقاءكن هذا يتيح لنا
I reaffirm my desire to strengthen the place of women in all areas, particularly that of politics. Our meeting with you allows us to reiterate our pride for Algerian women. This celebration, which symbolizes the value of liberation and human dignity, is also an opportunity to salute your conscience and determination to trace the future of generations by teaching our children the preservation of nations' cohesion, true citizenship, and attachment to national identity. With the help of Allah, we will move towards the concretization of the commitments made in favor of strengthening the place of women, particularly in terms of political empowerment, while ensuring guarantees of protection against all forms of violence.
On behalf of the President of the Republic, Supreme Chief of the Armed Forces, Minister of National Defense Abdelmajid Tebboune, Lieutenant General Saeed Shingriha, Chief of Staff of the National People's Army, presided over the official installation ceremony of Major General Hamid Fakan as Director of the War College at the War College on Tuesday, March 8, 2022. More insight with Nabila Zouad.
At the beginning and after the welcoming ceremony in the presence of Major General Ali Sidan, commander of the 1st Military Region, Lieutenant General Saeed Shingriha proceeded to the inspection of the squares of the school's executives and personnel lined up at the Place d'Armes to then announce the official installation of the Director of the Superior School of War, Major General Hamid Fakan, in succession to Major General Noureddin Khalwi.
باسم السيد رئيس الجمهورية القائد الأعلى.
In the name of the President of the Republic, Supreme Chief of the Armed Forces, Minister of National Defense, and in accordance with the Presidential Decree of March 1, 2022, the General officially installs Major General Hamid Fakan in the functions of Director of the Superior School of War in succession to Major General Noureddin Khalwi. To this effect, he ordered him to work under the President's authority and to carry out his orders and instructions in the interest of the service, in accordance with the military regulations and the laws of the Republic in force, and out of loyalty to the sacrifices of our valiant martyrs and the values of our glorious revolution.
وتخليدا لقيام ثورتنا المجيدة.
The General of the Army, Chief of Staff of the National People's Army, then supervised the ceremony of handing over the national emblem and the approval of the minutes of the handing over of instructions. At the end of the ceremony, the Lieutenant General held a meeting with the command, the executives and personnel of the War College, where he delivered on the occasion an orientation speech, during which he evoked the Victory Day, date marking the triumph over the barbaric colonialism, praying Allah the Almighty to make Algeria enjoy the benefits of independence, security and stability.
يأتي لقاؤنا اليوم وبلدنا المفدى.
Today's meeting comes at a time when Algeria is preparing to celebrate the 60th anniversary of Victory Day, corresponding to March 19th each year. This is a memorable anniversary where Algeria celebrates a victory that crowned the armed struggle waged by the nation's brave heroes, among the valiant war veterans and the valiant martyrs since barbaric colonialism trampled our holy land. This struggle was bitter but decisive in that it culminated in the outbreak of the glorious revolution of November 1st, followed by the resounding victory. On this occasion, we pray to Allah the Almighty to make our country enjoy the benefits of independence, security and stability, and to crown with success the efforts of the National People's Army, deployed under the leadership of the President of the Republic, Supreme Chief of the Armed Forces, Minister of National Defense, in the sense of a rise in power up to the level of the constitutional missions assigned to it.
وعظمة المهام الدستورية الموكلة إليه.
On this occasion, the Lieutenant General was keen to salute the dynamic momentum currently recorded by our country in various fields, stressing the full availability of the High Command of the AMP to continue to accompany and provide the necessary support to the executives of the Superior School of War in order to enable them to achieve the objectives set for this pioneering training center.
فإني على قناعة تامة أنه لم يكن لهذه الإنجازات الهامة.
He then highlighted his conviction that these great achievements could not have materialized on the ground without the efforts made at all levels by men imbued with patriotism and loyalty, whose only concern is to see Algeria progress and occupy its deserved place in the fold of nations. He further said that today's presence in the prestigious military school on the occasion of the installation of its new director is to assure him and the staff of the school of their full availability to continue on the path of their accompaniment, to provide them with the necessary support and to follow in their footsteps, and this in order to enable them to achieve the objectives set for this pioneering training center, particularly with regard to the emergence of highly qualified staff holding Algerian diplomas of higher military studies. This is an achievement of which we should all be proud.
وهو إنجاز يحق لنا جميعا الاعتزاز والافتخار.
At the end of the ceremony, the General signed the Golden Book of the school.
This day is also an opportunity to highlight the violence committed against women. The year 2021 witnessed more than 6,900 violence cases against women. More details with Rania Al-Bahri.
Each of these images recalls the drama of savagely murdered women. Today, many Algerian women continue to suffer daily from violence committed in most cases by their relatives or loved ones. Despite the existing laws, women still suffering from these savage acts. In my opinion, as a lawyer, it's good to deal with this kind of violence in our society, knowing that most of the cases are committed by women's family members. We need to change our mindset. Woman has the right to defend herself. She has the right to be respected. The point isn't to be protected only by the law, yet the society has a major role as well. In 2021, no less than 46 feminicides were recorded and almost 7,000 cases were handled by the National Security Department across the national territory. Talking about 6,930 cases is talking about women who no longer want to suffer, women who no longer want to be mistreated, and who know their rights. I salute all women out there standing up for their rights. Legitimate rights that women try somehow to recover. Women must be strong to the footsteps of the war veterans who were present to the call of their country and who took part in the glorious Revolution War and were present as well in the liberation and building the country. No country is spared by feminicides and violence against women. Peaceful marches and awareness campaigns that women are trying to make themselves is one of the ways to overcome this phenomenon.
The Foreign Affairs and National Community Abroad Minister Ramtan Al-Amamra had discussions at the headquarters of the Arab League in Cairo with the Secretary General of the Arab League, Ahmed Abu Al-Ghait, during which the two sides reviewed several topics related to the preparations for the upcoming Arab Summit for Algeria, as well as latest developments on the regional and international levels. The Algerian public television also celebrated Women's Day through a ceremony organized on Tuesday morning, a tribute in honor of all the workers made by the General Director of EPTV, Sha'ban Lounakal. The Algerian national television commemorated the 48th anniversary of the tragedy which claimed the lives of a delegation of 15 journalists on March 8, 1974, who were going to ensure a media coverage. This flight was carried out on board of a Vietnamese airplane and took off from Hanoi International Airport to the military airport located 60 kilometers away. This plane fell at the time of its landing and there were no survivors. This year, Sahrawi women celebrated March 8th against a backdrop of diplomatic and military victories achieved by Western Sahara, a symbol of Sahrawi resistance. Sultana Khaya doesn't hesitate to put herself in danger alongside her sister in her struggle to make their cause known. The details with Rania Al-Bahri.
In the Sahrawi refugee camps of Tindouf province, these women led a daily fight, not for their own rights, but for the rights of an entire population oppressed and silenced by the Moroccan occupier. They play an essential role in making the Sahrawi cause known and recognized by transmitting the spirit of militancy and struggle to future generations. The Sahrawi women take care of everything. They are political activists and take care of administrative management at schools. They are responsible for teaching our history to younger generations. The Sahrawi woman is an activist. She is a fighter who meets daily challenges despite all the difficulties encountered. The Sahrawi women gave their unconditional support to their compatriot Sultana Khaya, an icon of the relentless struggle of the Sahrawi people for their right to self-determination. Sultana Khaya is the symbol of resistance. We are proud of her. We support the Sultana Khaya and the Sahrawi army. The Sahrawi women stand alongside their brothers, a relentless fight for the liberation of their territories.
In Morocco, in addition to social crumblings, people's condemnation of all forms of normalization with the Zionist entity is reiterated. The Moroccan Front for the Support of Palestine renews its commitment to confront normalization in all its forms. من العماري.
The anger did not subside in the Moroccan kingdom since the signing of the normalization agreements with the Zionist entity. The Moroccan people continue to show the rejection of what they consider a transaction of shame that is holding the Palestinian people hostage and jeopardizes the entire region. The Moroccan Front in Support of Palestine reiterates its commitment to strongly advocate for the cancellation of the normalization agreements with the Zionist entity in all their forms, condemning the Makhzen regime's degradation and betrayal of the Palestinian cause, while reaffirming their solidarity and unwavering support of the Palestinian people on their path to freedom until the establishment of a Palestinian state with Al-Quds as its capital. In another context, the social and economic stagnation reached its peak in Morocco. The Spanish intelligence services accused the Makhzen regime's passiveness following the attempts of 3,700 migrants to cross the Melilla border fence, which highlights the criminal practices of Moroccan smugglers who attempt to reach Spain in order to make money. The massive entry recorded recently in Melilla came less than a year following the one recorded on May 17th and 18th of 2021, when thousands of migrants, including young people, flocked to Ceuta with the complicity of the border guards.
That was it for our news edition. Thank you for tuning in to our program. Good night.